Good afternoon. It's Thursday. It's 3:08 and it's time for you to be adrenalized. That's right, folks. It's time to get that blood flowing and get re-energized. Why? Because you're here. You're alive and it's time to be motivated to live your best life. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Marino, and welcome to the Tom Marino Show. I'm your host, success and mindset strategy coach, Tom Marino. Thank you so much for tuning in today on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. I feel like summer is starting to right away. I feel like it's getting a little bit cooler. It's been less humid, which we welcome so much. It's really a gorgeous day out there, and we got a lot of things going on tonight. Tonight is the end of summer baseball for my son and I. So I am very excited for a few weeks off, taking a few weeks away for rest and relaxation, get back to some of the things that I've been neglecting over the last several weeks of summer. But I want to wish him and his team good luck tonight in their semifinals and hopefully in their championship game. That'll be out at Marich's Sports Complex out here. I got to say, that's a beautiful sports complex. If you've ever been there at Marich's Sports Complex, really cool. So I want to, before we get into today's show, I want to thank our sponsors. Yes, you heard me. We have two sponsors now. It is so awesome to say we have two sponsors. So first, I want to thank New House Restoration, where they turn your damaged old house into a new house. Visit them at newhouserestoration.com. That is newhouserestoration.com. If you have had a fire, flood, sewer backup, or you have asbestos issues, contact New House Restoration. Give them a call at 631-604-8590. That's 631-604-8590. And tell Josh and Kristen that Tom Marino sent you. And I want to thank our other sponsor, my friend Tom over at Ticket Time. If you need tickets to concerts, sporting events, comedy shows, Broadway, basically anything that you need tickets to, any event in the United States, contact Ticket Time. Ticket Time's office number is 516-588-TIXX. That's 516-588-TIXX or 8499. And listen, they have 24/7 support, and you can reach them at 631-213-7675. That's 631-213-7675. And again, if you don't want those nosebleed seats, if you don't want to pay all of those extra fees and you want to get premium seats at affordable prices, reach out to Ticket Time, and you can contact them on Instagram at Ticket Time USA. That's Ticket Time USA. All right. So what are we going to talk about today, Tom? What are we going to talk about on this show today? Well, I have to ask you a quick question. How many of you out there were raised or have been told over the course of your adulthood that feelings don't matter? That you should just push those feelings down and you should just ignore your feelings and don't worry about it. It's fine. It's really not going to change anything. How many people are working in an organization right now when you have a feeling about something and you want to express that feeling, you're told not to express it? You know, I've talked about saboteurs, right? The hyperachiever saboteur, the controller saboteur. They have no time for feelings. We just want to get results, right? And that's the thing. We are conditioned in so many ways not to have feelings, and we push those feelings down, and we don't release those feelings. So one of the things I'm going to talk to you today about is how to feel all of your feelings. You know, and that comes up so many times in transitions. You know, when you are going through a major life transition, there is a lot of emotion that stirs up for you at those times. And when I talk about life transitions, because that's what I really help a lot of people through, is a life transition. So I'm speaking of when you go from being single to married, when you go from being married to divorced, when you have a death of someone in your life and you go through loss, or you get fired from a job, or you get downsized from a position. These are all life transitions, right? We go through life transitions all the time. If you stop working and you retire, that is a major life transition that you are embarking upon. And there's a lot of emotion that comes up at those times of transition. And for someone like me who works with a lot of small business owners, those emotions can become distracting to you running your business effectively, to you making the right decisions for your business. I'm working with a client right now. He's going through a pretty difficult divorce, and he started working with me to help him keep focused on his business, to keep focused because all of the emotions of the divorce are getting in the way for him. So let's talk a little bit about feeling all our feelings. And I want to acknowledge that this comes from a book called The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. And what I love about this book is it's not just about leadership. It is about being conscious, not just being conscious leaders, but being conscious people. If you're just tuning in, we're starting to talk about feeling all your feelings. And if you feel compelled to give us a call at 631-451-1039. That's 631-451-1039. And let's talk about what you're feeling, right? Because we don't do that enough. When we were asked throughout the whole pandemic, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? There was a whole campaign by the state of New York on how are you feeling really? How are you really feeling? And we get that common answer of fine, right? That common answer, I feel fine. I'm fine. What the heck does fine mean? And a client of mine reminded me last week about what fine stands for from the movie The Italian Job. So fine is freaked out, insecure, nervous or neurotic, and exhausted. That's what you feel. When you say you're fine, those are the things that you're saying you feel. What is fine really? We get so caught up in just needing to be fine and not expressing how we truly feel because we don't think somebody cares or somebody wants to listen. But here's what I want you to do by the end of this show today. I want you to start to feel your feelings. So I want to commit to feeling my feelings all the way through to completion. As they come, I locate them in my body, then they move, I breathe, and I vocalize them so they get released all the way. So we're going to talk about feeling your feelings, labeling what feeling it is. We're going to talk about where it is in your body. We're going to talk about how to match the experience and release it. Because a lot of us often commit to resisting our feelings, to judging our feelings, and apologizing for our feelings. I repress my feelings. I avoid them. I withhold them. And then a whole slew of stuff happens, right? It gets all pent up. We think that feeling your feelings is going to distract you from being productive. And actually, if you take the time to feel your feelings, release them, and get past them, you will actually be more productive than you set out to be originally. Because you will no longer have that distraction. Here's a fact. Feelings are a distraction. They are a distraction. And what do you do with most distractions? You often are told, don't pay attention to them. But I'm telling you, if you try, you put more effort into not paying attention to them, you put more effort into that, you're actually going to distract yourself from what you need to be focused on. All right, so listen, if you haven't followed me yet on Instagram at Tom Marino Coaching, I want you to go do that during this commercial break. Go follow me at Tom Marino Coaching on Instagram, or go visit my website at tommarino.com. That's tommarino.com. And hey, did you know every week I record a video of the show taking place in the studio? And if you want to watch that video, if you want to see a recap of the video, go to tommarino.com/radio. That's tommarino.com/radio. And you can see the entire episode as it aired live on the air. All right, we will be back right after this commercial break. If you want to give us a call at 631-451-1039 to discuss what you're feeling right now, give me a call, 631-451-1039. We will speak to you right after this break. What happiness is to you. Hey, this is Tom Marino of The Tom Marino Show here. Imagine you wake up and you've had a major sewer backup in your home. Well, let me tell you about a company that I've worked with personally, New House Restoration, where they take your damaged old house and make it a new house. For any water, fire, mold, or asbestos damage, please call them at 631-604-8590. That's 631-604-8590. New House Restoration. Hey, this is Tom Marino, The Tom Marino Show, and I want to tell you how to get the best tickets for comedy shows, sporting events, Broadway, and any tickets that you need anywhere in the United States. That's by contacting Ticket Time. Ticket Time can be reached at 516-588-TIXX. That's 516-588-TIXX or 8499. Or call or text a representative 24/7 at 631-213-7675. That's 631-213-7675. And welcome back to the Tom Marino Show. I'm your host, Mindset and Success Strategy Coach Tom Marino. Thank you so much for tuning back in today. Hey, listen, I meant to say this at the beginning of the show. I want to congratulate the Massapequa Coast Little League for making it to the Little League World Series. You know, last year, my son Andrew was on the Williamsport team that made it to the New York State Finals. So Massapequa has gone those 2 extra steps. So I wish them all of the best luck. And representing Long Island District 31, Williamsport, that is awesome. It just is great to be from the same district and see that a team from our district took it a step further this year. So good luck to our Massapequa Coast team. And I tell you, they've been impressive. That Leonetti kid pitching a no-hitter in the regional championships last week, that was very impressive. So all the best to you guys out there. And I hope that you are enjoying this very amazing, unique, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So good luck to Massapequa Coast. So thank you for coming back to the show. And if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about feelings. We started to talk about feeling all your feelings. And one of the things I really want to talk about is understanding emotion first, right? In this book, 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, that I'm using for the context of the show today, it's really, they talk about emotional literacy and how we develop emotional literacy, right? How do we develop this? So developing emotional literacy means developing a clear, accurate definition of emotion. And it's also about identifying the core emotions. And I love what they describe in the book as emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. Emotion is nothing more than a sensation that you feel, right? So let's just take a feeling that we often all have several times a day. And that is the feeling of being hungry, right? If you pay attention to that hungry feeling, you eat and it goes away. If you don't eat, that feeling may not subside and you will continue to be hungry. Our emotions are the same sensation. It's the same thing. You have a feeling and you have to release that feeling and give it the release that it needs. Just like you're giving your hunger a release by filling it up with food, or your thirst a release by taking a drink, you have to do the same thing with your feelings. Listen, if you have a feeling right now and you want to talk through your feeling, you need help releasing your feeling. Because if you're driving right now or you're exercising right now and you're a bit angry or you're a bit fearful and you're having difficulty dealing with that feeling, I want you to give me a call right now, 631-451-1039. That's 631-451-1039. Because we're going to talk about the 5 core feelings now, okay? And what are the 5 core feelings? So the first thing we did was define emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. Emotion, energy in motion. And then there are 5 core emotions. The 5 core emotions are anger, fear, sadness, joy, and sexual feelings. Anger, fear, sadness, joy, and sexual feelings. Okay, I want to talk about this for a second. Anger is on a spectrum, just like fear is on a spectrum, just like sadness is on a spectrum. There are levels of intensity around our feelings, right? If you, for example, are angry, a low intense feeling of anger may be being upset, tense, annoyed, dissatisfied, displeased, frustrated, irritated, bothered, bored. Bored can be a low intensity anger. A moderate intensity anger can be agitation, aggressiveness, being disgusted, indignant, irritated, resentful, revolted. A high intensity can be embittered, enraged, furious, hostile. infuriated, seething, vengeful. Feelings have intensity, but they all go back to one category of feeling, and that's anger. And I just used anger as the example because we have a lot of anger in our society right now. We have a lot of people out there that are angry about a lot of things. We're angry about inflation. We were angry about the gas prices. They've gotten a little bit better. We're angry about the state of our nation. We're angry about the wars in this world. We're angry at our friends. We're angry that something didn't go our way. We're angry at a coworker because they got the promotion and we didn't. Bottom line is there's a lot of anger out there. But there is also a lot of wisdom in that anger. And the wisdom in that anger is you have to realign yourself because something is out of whack. Something is not working anymore. Something that once served you is no longer serving you. It is time to replace that. It's time to get away from that thing that no longer serves you. That's what your anger is really telling you. Well, how about that for a perspective change? Did you ever realize there is wisdom in anger? Did you ever realize that there is a time that you can realign and that your feeling is actually an opportunity to learn something, to do something better, to recognize that something has got to be let go of, that you need to change and realign yourself? Think about it. If you're not happy in your job right now, right? If you're in a job that you really don't love and your boss is very challenging, right? And you're angry all the time, it means that you need to realign yourself with something that doesn't make you angry. That you need to find something that better aligns with who you are, what you represent, what you want, all of that. That is the wisdom of that anger. We talk about anger and we talk about the 5 emotions. And the 5 emotions, really, I want to just define a little bit further for you how to think about them. So fear is usually something that we feel when we are afraid, when we're anxious, when we're uncertain, when we're doubtful. And there are varying degrees of fear. You can have that little bit of fear that there's a little bit of trepidation, or you can have that intense fear where you are shaking and so afraid, deathly afraid of what's going on. So remember that your emotions have intensities. But one of the first things to do to release your feeling is to label it. So whatever you're thinking right now, whatever you're feeling right now, I want you to think of it as one of the 5 feelings. And sadness and joy are pretty self-explanatory. Fear is pretty self-explanatory. And sexual feelings, I want you to understand what we're talking about when we talk about sexual feelings. It's really the feeling of giving birth to something new. It's that feeling, that energy of creating something. It's that energy of creation, of making something new, of innovating something, having that drive to do something. And it has that same, when we achieve that, it has that same gratification of those sexual feelings that we have that are lustful sexual feelings. But I want you to focus on the creative, giving birth, innovative approach to those feelings. All right. The next thing we have to do is locate our feelings in our body. So what are you feeling right now? Let's say you feel some fear. Well, where do you typically locate that feeling? You locate that in your gut. If you're sad, it's usually located in your eyes, your upper chest, your upper throat. You know how you get choked up? Anger is usually in the neck or the back or the jaw, the upper back and jaw. The joy is usually at your core, your heart, and up and down your spine, where you're radiating that joy all throughout because your spine is elongated by your nerves. And then obviously your sexual feelings could be in your erogenous zones. So what are you feeling right now? And where is it located? During this commercial break, I want you to find what you're feeling, label it. Is it anger, fear, sadness, joy, sexual, or something else? And I want you to locate it in your body. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, give me a call, 631-451-1039, 631-451-1039. This is Tom Marino and The Tom Marino Show. We'll talk to you after this break.
If you feel like that's what you want to do, here come bad news, talking this and that. Yeah. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Yeah. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. Because I'm happy.
And welcome back to the Tom Marino Show. I'm your host, Mindset and Success Strategy Coach Tom Marino. Thank you so much for tuning back in. And hey, if you're just joining us, we are talking all about feelings today. And some of you probably are saying, I'm tired of feeling any feelings. I don't want to feel any feelings right now. I just want to ignore them, which is probably what you do most of the time. But we're going to get you out of that. We're going to help you to feel your feelings. Before we get into our show, again, I just want to thank Newhouse Restoration and Ticket Time for sponsoring Ticket Time. You can reach them at 516-588-TIXX. That's 516-588-TIXX or 8499. And also, my friends at Newhouse Restoration, give them a call at 631-604-8590. That's 631-604-8590. If you have any sewer, flood, water, fire damage, mold damage, give Newhouse Restoration a call and tell them that Tom Marino sent you. So, listen, we've been talking about feelings for the last half hour or so. And before the commercial break, I said if you are having a feeling right now, I want you to locate where that feeling is in your body, right? So I started to say that, we feel specific feelings in different parts of our body. And one of the ways we start to release those feelings is to locate them, right? And one of the things that I want to be very clear about is that when we say, and if we're going to release our feelings, when we say, I feel like I am sad, or I feel that I am sad, or I feel like I am afraid, or I feel like I am nervous, I feel that, when we put those words like and that in there, those feelings no longer become our feelings, but they become thoughts. Those feelings become thoughts when we put words like that. So one of the things to get in the habit of saying is when you feel something, say, I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel unhappy, I feel scared, I'm afraid, I feel joy, right? Don't say, I feel that I'm afraid. I feel like that, or like something like that, because then you're creating a thought. And when we create a thought, that thought becomes something that can be judged. And when we start to judge, we start to suppress our feelings even more. Judging is, you shouldn't feel that way. Why do you feel that way? You shouldn't feel that way. What's wrong with you that you feel that way? Right? You get all those judging thoughts when you don't just state what you feel. Don't give your feelings too much extra space. Just embrace what they are. It's a sensation. And you've got to satisfy the sensation by releasing it, because then it goes away. Because if you repress your feelings, and when we repress our feelings, it's usually the response that we have is to push them down. And then it influences a whole other flow of our emotions, of other emotions. When we push it down, it brings up other stuff. Maybe we started out scared, but then you become angry and sad. Maybe you started out sad and then you become fearful and confused, right? When you push it down and you repress it and you don't deal with it, it builds up. They are sensations that need to be released. When we constantly think about them, constantly think about how you're feeling, constantly deal with it, you're recycling your feelings. That's what you're doing. You're recycling over and over. Do you have time to recycle your feelings? Don't you have other things to do? So feel your feelings. I feel happy right now. I'm in a great mood. I love this feeling. I'm enjoying being happy right now. And I'm releasing it because for me, the happiness is in a laugh, is in something else. Right? What are you feeling right now? Are you struggling? Are you constantly repressing your feelings? What are you repressing your feelings about? Are you afraid that somebody's going to judge you? Probably. Have you been told before that maybe you have too many feelings? Probably. Have you been repressed and told, don't let it out? But stop being fine. Let it out. Let those feelings out. So let's talk about how we do that. And if you're struggling and you want to give me a call, 631-451-1039, 631-451-1039. We are live in the studio. It is just about 3:43. And I want to help you to navigate your feelings if you're having something that you're struggling with releasing. So how do we release the emotion? We release the emotion by, one, labeling it. I feel fearful. I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel joy. I feel sexual. Then we locate that sensation in our body. Where is it living? Is it in our gut? Usually fear is there. What is it doing, right? What is it doing right now in your body? Like, is it stirring up stuff? Is it making you ill? Is it making you vibrate? Is it letting you have great emotion? And are you having a good time? Feeling some kind of great feeling? Well, what is it actually doing? How is it manifesting in your body? And you have to breathe. Once you locate it and understand what it's doing, breathe. Take a deep breath. Take a moment to breathe, right? When we're angry, what do people tell you? Slow down, take a breath. When you're sad and you're upset, slow down, take a breath. When you're happy and excited and bouncing off the wall, slow down, take a breath. Right? So once we locate it, we take a breath. Then you have to allow it, accept it, and appreciate it. It's a sensation. Allow it, accept it, appreciate it. I'm angry. I can accept that. I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow it its space. But one of the things you have to do to release it, in order to allow it and accept it, you got to match it with something. You got to match it with some kind of vocalization, some kind of image. I always tell people, when you're struggling to deal with your feelings, to work through your feelings, to release your feelings, I encourage you to visualize what it looks like. What does it look like? What is it? My fear is usually like this black cape that's drawn over a very skinny thing. Because for some reason, that's what my mind goes to when I think of my fears. It's a skinny thing. It's black. It's dark. It doesn't have any vibrancy. And when I visualize, I could deal with it better. And then what sound does it make? Right? Sometimes you just got to let out a big, just let it out. Let out that, Maybe that's your anger. And that will help you to release it. So let's go through that one more time. Label it. Locate it. What's it doing? Right? If I was afraid right now, what is it? What are those little bits doing in me? Is it giving me butterflies? Is it upsetting my stomach? Is it making me feel like I have to get up and pace? What are those little bits doing? Then take a deep breath and let that out. Allow it. Allow yourself to be afraid. It's okay. Allow yourself to accept it. Appreciate that it's there because it's telling you something. And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. We're going to go more into the wisdoms of these things. But then match it. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it look like and sound like? If you start to visualize your fear, or you start to visualize your anger, right? Last night I was working with a client, great person. She said, my anger is like a little devil that's using that pitchfork and just pinching it into my shoulders over and over and over. And he's laughing with this nasty laugh. And it sounds like and it's a crazy sound. But she got through her anger because she visualized it, because she passed through it. She released it. She allowed the sensation to be released. All right, listen, if you want to give me a call because you're working through something right now, give me a call at 631-451-1039. That's 631-451-1039. And go follow me on Instagram at Tom Marino Coaching. Tom Marino Coaching. There is a library of content, people. A library of content. There's over 400 posts, and every single one has some kind of purpose to help you, inspire you. There's some stuff that entertains you. but it's mostly to help you, guide you on what to do and to be inspired. All right, we will come back and we will wrap up how we are feeling after this commercial break.
Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine.
Hey, this is Tom Marino of The Tom Marino Show here. Imagine you wake up and you've had a major sewer backup in your home. Well, let me tell you about a company that I've worked with personally, New House Restoration, where they take your damaged old house and make it a new house. For any water, fire, mold, or asbestos damage, please call them at 631-604-8590. That's 631-604-8590. New House Restoration.
Say goodbye to Hollywood.
Hey, this is Tom Marino of The Tom Marino Show, and I want to tell you how to get the best tickets for comedy shows, sporting events, Broadway, and any tickets that you need anywhere in the United States. That's by contacting Ticket Time. Ticket Time can be reached at 516-588-TIXX. That's 516-588-TIXX or 8499. Or call or text a representative 24/7 at 631-213-7675. That's 631-213-7675. And welcome back to the Tom Marino Show. I am your host, Mindset and Success Strategy Coach Tom Marino. Thank you so much for tuning back in on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, August the 18th. Oh boy, school's starting soon, kids. Get ready. It's time to go back in a few weeks. I can't believe it's September 1. I know a lot of places start, and then we have off for Labor Day, but we get right back into it. All right, so listen, we've been talking this afternoon about feeling your feelings and the importance of feeling your feelings. And in the last segment, we talked about the steps that you need to take when you want to release your feelings. And they are, just to remind those of you that have been listening and those that are just tuning in, when you have an emotion, when you're struggling with an emotion and you need to, instead of letting it be pent up and repressing it and recycling it within you, let it go, release it. You got to release your feeling. And that will get away from being unproductive, because if you are constantly absorbed by your feelings, you're not going to do anything. You're going to be unproductive. You're not going to move. You're going to wind up being very stuck and stagnant, and it's just not going to work for you. So the key is that we have to release our feelings. So the steps to releasing your feelings are this. Label it. Am I feeling, I feel anger. I feel sad. I feel fear. I feel disappointed. I feel joy. I feel sexual. I feel, stay what it is that you feel. Say exactly what it is that you feel. Number 2, locate it in your body. Where is it living? Where is that fear living? Is it in your gut? Where is that sadness? Is it in your eyes or in your throat? Where is that anger? Is it clenching your jaw right now and making you all intense in the back of your neck? Locate the feeling and understand what the feeling is doing in your body. Once you've located it, what is it doing? Is it making you anxious? Are you feeling stomach upsetness? Are you feeling sick? Are you feeling vibrations and energy that you just want to let out because you're so happy? What is it doing? Then take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to breathe. Every emotion that we have, take a pause and just breathe. The next thing you want to do is allow it, accept it, and appreciate it. Allow your feeling. Don't repress it. Don't push it down. Allow it. Accept it. Appreciate it. And then match it with the experience. What does it look like? What does this feel look like? Give it a visualization. Come up with something. Cartoon characters are always a lot of fun for the visualization of our different emotions. I always think of that movie with the cartoon. I can't think of the 5 emotions, what that was. It's leaving me right now. But what does your emotion look like? And then make a sound of what it sounds like. And if you make that sound and you have that image, then you can release it. And the thing I wanted to really touch upon in this part is the wisdom of feelings. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier, that the wisdom of anger is something no longer serves you. Something is no longer aligned. It's something that has to be changed so something beneficial can replace it. So anger tells us a lot. When you feel angry, heed the advice of the anger. Something is no longer of service. It's not aligned with who we are. And it has to be changed so something beneficial can replace it. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's a new business. Maybe it's an expansion of a business. Maybe it's a new product that you want to develop. You're angry that you're not making the sales that you once did. Well, maybe you need to change it up a bit. But if you're angry about it and you don't seek the wisdom of that anger, it's going to be really hard to be productive to bring out that new product line. So that's what I mean, people. Feel your feelings. Allow yourself to feel your feelings. Fear. The wisdom of fear. Something important needs to be known. So wake up. Wake up and see what it is. Find out. Ask questions. Get excited about it. Something important needs to be known. That's all that fear is telling you. Something important needs to be known. Sadness. Something needs to be let go of, said goodbye to, or removed from your life and moved on from. During periods of transition, where we are either going through a divorce, or we've lost a job, or we're separated, or we are sad about a loss of somebody we loved, it is a time to let go and to move on from. Process it, mourn it, give it its space, allow it, accept it, appreciate it. But recognize that their wisdom in there is that something needs to be let go of. You have to say goodbye to something. If you're feeling sad right now and you've been struggling with your sadness, what is it that you have to let go of? Who is that person? That toxic relationship, that toxic boss, that toxic environment that's making you sad. Is it something that you have to let go of? So heed the wisdom of the sadness. Joy. Something needs to be celebrated, appreciated, laughed at. Someone deserves to be patted on the back. That's what joy tells us. That something needs to be celebrated, appreciated, and other people need to be celebrated and appreciated. How many times are you happy for you that about something and you only focus on your happiness? You don't celebrate other people at the same time. That's something I'm going to commit to doing differently. I've been thinking about this since I read that a couple of weeks ago when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about here. And I said, you know what? When I'm happy, I'm going to celebrate other people. I'm going to do that better. That's something I'm going to work on. Just like when I'm sad, I've got to work on letting go a little bit faster. Letting it out, releasing that energy, letting it go. So think about it. And then the sexual energy, the sexual feeling that you have, remember, it's an energy to create, to give birth to something new. It's to give birth to something new. That's what that energy, what that feeling is really about. Is creating something new, innovating something new, trying something new. When you release that, when you understand that emotion, when you've labeled it, you've located it, you've matched it with a sound or an image, and you release it, it's gone. You can move on. And that's better than letting it build up. Because when you let it build up, what happens? You usually explode. You explode maybe in anger, or you explode with a bunch of tears and cry. Feel that. Allow that. But don't let it be pent up. Don't repress it. Don't recycle it. Don't judge it. If there's anything you could take away from today's show, is don't judge your feelings. Just let them be. They're sensations. They are sensations that we have to work and to release and find what the wisdom is in each of those. So anger, something needs to be realigned. Fear, something needs to be found out. Sadness, something needs to be let go of. Joy, something needs to be celebrated. And sexual, something needs to be created. And how do you practice this every day? Start to ask yourself randomly throughout the course of the day, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeling? Not why am I feeling it? What am I feeling? When you find it, label it, locate it, match it, release it. Locate it, understand what it's doing. Breathe and allow the bits to do what they're doing. but then make a sound to get rid of it. Create an image. All right. If you are a business owner, you're a solopreneur, you're going through a major life transition, reach out to me, 516-588-0750. That's 516-588-0750. You can text me at that number, call me, 516-588-0750. All right. Next week, we have my friend Steve DeAngelis on the show from MMP Creations. And the following week, we have my friend Joe Sinona from eXp Realty. So we're going to have some major guests on the show. They're going to give us some great information on content creation, some great information on the current housing market. So tune in next week. Until then, this is Tom Marino saying, choose your adrenalized life.
Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine.